Okay, just ask me something else. Okay, wait, let me look at my phone. Should I answer that question again? Like, better? I don't think I have any.
You gotta give me something. The first person that has a final thought.
Hey y'all, my name is Aurelia and Hey y'all, my name is Aurelia and I am a Christian creative. I am a mom, a chef / caterer. I love Christian hip hop music, worship music, and I love to eat. I didn't really recognize my creativity until recently. We had a conference and someone was prophesying over me and she's like, I don't know what you do creatively, but I see new strategies. And so when she said that, it made me think about my catering, but I never took my catering as creativity. I always thought creativity had to do with some type of artistry as far as painting and music and dancing, not necessarily cooking, but thinking backward. My creativity started when I was maybe 7 or 8. Both of my parents were in the military, and it was always only my sister and I had a restaurant called Ree's Palace, and we served PB&J, ramen noodles, sweet tea, potato chips. And as long as my customer's happy, I was happy. And I only had one customer. So I have a few favorite artists. Of course, Lecrae, a lot of the folks on Reach Records. Paul the Messenger, Aha Gazelle, Chastity. I've been really into the Maverick City album that just came out with Alton Eugene and Dante Bowe. Let me see. There's a few other ones. William McDowell, of course, Derek Minor, D1, Byron Juwan. I mean, a lot of them. And right now, I will say, when it comes to the worship side, I've been really listening to the Maverick City album. But when it comes to the CHH side, I've been really listening to the Summer 19 Reach Records playlist. Yes. So there was a time where someone did not I did a food tasting, and I only do food tastings with clients that are going to have really big orders. And so they said they didn't really like my food, and it kind of hurt my feelings. It was just because they didn't like the way that the salmon was cooked, something crazy like that. But my sister Chanel told me not everyone is going to like, or not everyone is going to have a taste of what you have. But that doesn't mean it wasn't good. It doesn't mean that someone else isn't going to like it. So I kind of brushed it off my shoulders. It didn't affect the way that I cooked. It didn't affect my recipe because I used the same recipe and everyone else liked it. It was just them. So I just had to realize what God has for me is for me. Period. I can tell you it happened this weekend. So we were doing a baby shower for my pastor, and I packed up everything. I always have a checklist of everything. And because I just had the pan in my hand, I checked it off, but I left it in the oven. And so I'm setting up all of the food and everything. Everything looks nice. And I only have one more thing to do, which is put the meatballs on the platter. And I'm looking for the meatballs, and I realized I left them at home in the oven, which was very unfortunate, but I was able to get somebody to go get the meatballs, and we put them out, and they tasted good. So it might have been a mess up, but it came out good. So not necessarily my catering feeling creative in that aspect, but I do feel creative when I am experimenting on different foods. So the other day I made an Italian dish, and not necessarily using a recipe or anything, but I just chopped up the sausage, do the onions, use the vodka sauce, and then different pasta noodles, all these things. And it came out amazing. It didn't really have anything to do with my business, but just that in my lane, that part. Yeah. So a lot of times I feel like I try to pray and ask God to give me some type of wisdom or show me something. And a lot of times I'm trying to sit in silence and hear from him, and I don't get nothing. But it's usually when I'm in the car and I'm jamming out and I'm listening to my favorite song, my mind is just going. And then all of a sudden I get a thought. And that is when the creativity comes. And not necessarily just for me, but for other people, like recognizing other people's creativity and like speaking into their creativity. So yeah, I noticed that that's when I usually get all of the good stuff when I'm in my car jamming out and everything. So I used to be all over the place. I know at one point I wanted to be in dentistry. At another point, I wanted to be in the military. I wanted to be a mortician. That's kind of crazy. But I guess now that I only do my business part-time, so my full-time employment is finance. So maybe I would just still be in finance. So this actually happened recently. Someone reached out to me who is a single mother and starting out her business. And she was just asking me, what should she do? So instead of just like telling her all this stuff over the phone, I had a lunch with her and just tried to pour into her everything that I had in my brain. And I basically said, make sure you have your set menu, make sure you have confidence in your food, and that whatever comes your way, even when it seems hard, to just do it anyways. And you're going to make mistakes, but you get better every single time that you go out on your next event. Make sure that you have like your business is legit. Don't try to do half-stepping stuff and, oh, I don't want to get my tax ID. I don't want to get insurance. No, if you want to have good clientele and consistent clientele, you need to have insurance. You need to have your tax ID. Make sure that you register your business under whatever state that you have, and just roll with it. Just make sure you advertise your business, do your hashtags on your social media, do the corny stuff. It might seem kind of crazy, but that's how you get your business. That's how you get referrals. And make sure that you're open. Even if you're an introvert like me, make sure that you are, and yeah, do it. Okay, so back in the day, I used to love Courage the Cowardly Dog. I used to love Ed, Edd n Eddy. But I don't really watch too many cartoons now. So I would say Into the Spider-Verse is my current favorite because Caleb watched it about 1 million times. Okay, I would have to say the CHH artist that I had mentioned earlier, Jackie Hill Perry. Her creativity in her spoken word. If you've ever been to a PIA tour, you will see so much creativity in their performances, in her hip hop, even in her teaching. She just has a way with words that I just can't even get into depth of how structured and how beautiful she just lays out her words. So I would think that she is the most creative person that, I don't know her like that, but I think she'd be my favorite artist. So I did get accepted into 2 culinary schools, but because of our family situation and finances, I was not able to go. So I did go to just community college for a little while, stopped going to school, did what I was doing. I guess sin was an obstacle because I was all over the place, but then I got it together. So, even in my chefing, everything is self-taught. I don't have any type of culinary certification, only that of my own. So I do have like a food handler's license and stuff, but not necessarily like a professional certification when it comes to culinary. It definitely chose me. I did not know what I wanted to do. I was one of those high school students that was a senior about to graduate. I had no idea what I wanted to do. We had an instructor from Johnson & Wales come into the classroom and talk about culinary arts. And I was like, that would be something good. And when I came home and I was about to tell my mom was like, Ree, God told me what you were supposed to do. It's culinary arts. And I was like, say what? So I knew that I was supposed to do culinary arts. I still doubt my talent. I look at other people and like, oh, they cook better than me. Oh, they can chop better than me because they went to school. They went to the Cordon Bleu. They went to Johnson & Wales. So I'm looking at their chopping skills. But guess what? My food tastes better. So there you have it. You can find me on Instagram at OH_Sweet Soul, on Facebook at Oh Sweet Soul. And you can actually Google Sweet Soul and I will pop right on up. And you can actually place orders, ohsweetsoul.com, or send in an email, order@ohsweetsoul.com. So currently I am working on a seasonings line. It's called Soul Frito. And basically it's a play on words because in the Latino community, they have this thing called sofrito, and basically it's a base and they put it inside of all of their dishes. And I had permission from a Latina to do something called soul frito, so it is not cultural appropriation. But anyways, basically I'm coming out with a seasoning line, and I'm going to be making my own extracts. And right now I'm working on jerk seasonings, and I'm just going to do different blends of seasonings. So yeah, soul frito. I would say what you're feeling is normal, because at some point everyone doesn't feel creative, but you are creative because you were created by a creative God, and because you are created in the image and likeness of Him, you are creative. And sometimes people rank creativity based on some type of artistry, like painting or dancing, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. It could be whatever you like to do, even if it's sewing, or even if it's making some type of clothing or modeling, or just, it might be some type of hobby that you like to do. It might not necessarily be a visual thing that you see other people doing. Nope.
And we're done.